You know, the petals and stuff on its face would open up and move around.
I think she knows what happened to him.
Hi, congratulations on your show. It's great, obviously.
Oh, thank you.
How did the project evolve from when it was still called Montauk? And is what you pitched to Netflix pretty much what ended up on the screen?
It's very close.
Very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, we pitched an 8 episode season that, was very, very close to what we saw here. We always envisioned it as one big movie. I mean, the setting changed, obviously, as you noted, but, overall the story remained, pretty much identical. It was us sort of wanting, for both production reasons in terms of it was going to be hard to shoot on the coast, and then also just for us, we decided at a certain point that we wanted to create, a fictional town that we could play with, like our own sort of Castle Rock. And so I think it was exciting to us that we didn't have to base it in the reality of an actual town. So those were the reasons, but otherwise, story-wise, yeah. It remained very similar.
Yeah, we actually cut together, when we were selling it, we cut together a fake trailer where we had, 25 different movie clips, most of them from the 80s, that we kind of merged to try to show Netflix what the show would look and feel like. And I rewatched it the other day, and it's really close to the trailers that came out for our show.
Speaking of which, So what are maybe some of the influences that aren't quite as obvious as the old Spielberg stuff and Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
I think there's definitely some, we play a lot of video games, so there's a lot of video games. But people are picking up on them, like Silent Hill and Last of Us and things like that inspired us. And then, there's some more obscure anime that we're fans of. Well, some not obscure anime like Akira, which people are picking up on, and there's something called Elfen Lied, yeah.
But see, everyone's picked up on it. That was amazing to me, because when the first trailer came out, that someone in the YouTube comments called out Elfen Lied, and I was like, oh wow. So we can't get away with anything.
No.
People pick up on every single reference.
Yes.
And did you consider at one point going full retro with the monster and have it be a practical effect?
A lot of it, it's like, I would say over half of it is like, it's a dude in a suit, which is something we wanted to do. And also just like a childhood dream to like build, like, we had, the petals and stuff on its face would open up and move around, and it was so fun to shoot. And like that, in the final episode where it's like on top of Jonathan and it's like goo is dripping on him. That's just a guy in a suit, and it was just so much fun to shoot. But it's also very difficult to shoot, because if you don't shoot it right, it looks like a guy in a suit. So, to us, it's like those limitations prove to be beneficial. It's like we would look back at something like Ridley Scott's Alien, maybe it's in there for like 2 or 3 minutes out of a 2-hour movie.
Yeah,
and the reason is because if you show too much of it, because there's like one deleted scene where they have a big wide shot of it, and it looks like a guy in a suit, and there's a reason Ridley cut that. And so what happens is it forces you not to show it very much, keep it in shadow, blinking lights, really hide it. And I think in the end that makes it scarier than if you can just point and shoot whatever you want because it's a CG creature. The limitations are great.
But then, of course, we needed it to do some things that a man in a suit
like
couldn't
burst
do,
through a membrane,
like dropping out of the ceiling and whatever. So and then for that we turn to CG. So it's great that we have these new modern tools that we can kind of combine with the more old school approach. So it's sort of a hybrid approach.
Yeah.
What are your favorite TV shows that you're watching right now, maybe?
That I'm watching right now? Well, Game of Thrones.
Obviously. We've been fans of that for a long time. I love, The Nick, which I feel like not enough people have watched, which Steven Soderbergh's show was, I think, absolutely amazing, and his filmmaking is amazing.
I'm excited about the Narcos coming out. That's gonna be good. So there's a lot of stuff, and then just going back, stuff that inspired us. Whether it was like a lot of it is just character-driven stuff. Whether it's like it's not stuff like The Walking Dead. It's more like Freaks and Geeks and Friday Night Lights. These are the things that we were obsessing about and falling in love with. And then the child in us was going, can we take those shows that were so amazing and put a monster in it that eats people? So anyways.
something that he shouldn't have. This is Hawkins. I know the worst thing that's ever happened here in the 4 years I've been working here. It was when an owl attacked Eleanor Gillespie's head because it thought that her hair was a nest.